The journey of each individual is a complex mosaic where decisions gain increasing weight and significance over time. There's a common belief that having a life partner is essential for complete happiness. However, practice shows that for some, such a union can become a burden filled with tension and disappointment, rather than a source of joy and support. Contrary to popular stereotypes, mature years should primarily be associated with freedom, the right to independently determine one's future path, get rid of everything burdensome that hinders progress, and prioritize personal well-being and comfort. The assertion that socializing with others is a prerequisite for happiness isn't always confirmed by reality, especially if this interaction is dictated by a sense of duty, involves constant disagreements, and restricts personal freedom. At a certain point in life, everyone needs to pause and dedicate time to deep self-analysis, honestly asking themselves, to what extent does the current lifestyle align with their inner desire for happiness and harmony? One should ruthlessly and critically evaluate existing relationships, be they marital bonds or friendships. Do they bring genuine joy and satisfaction, or are they maintained solely due to years of habit, fear of loneliness, or a false sense of obligation? Undoubtedly, each person's life circumstances are unique and unrepeatable. However, it remains undeniable that mature years should be a period of well-deserved peace and tranquility, not a time of unnecessary hardship and struggle for survival. Regardless of the decision made to stay with someone or maintain independence and freedom, it's important that it's driven solely by a sincere desire to improve one's life and find long-awaited happiness. Aging isn't blindly following accepted norms and standards, but consciously making the most balanced and reasonable decisions dictated solely by personal needs and aspirations. Sometimes the wisest and bravest action in life is to abandon what no longer brings any benefit or satisfaction, even if this contradicts the expectations of others. But what happens next? What decision will the protagonist of this story make? You'll find out by watching until the end. Have you ever considered that everyday hygiene routines can add years to your life? Many consider proper nutrition, physical activity, and stress management as the main factors of longevity. However, there's an underestimated aspect that significantly impacts health: the quality of care for certain body areas. Insufficient hygiene in these areas can trigger serious problems, ranging from infections to chronic inflammation and a weakened immune system. Next, we'll discuss 5 essential body parts that require daily cleaning to maintain health and prolong life. It's not just about feeling fresh. Proper care plays a direct role in preventing diseases, improving blood circulation, and reducing the risk of age-related ailments. If you neglect the hygiene of these areas, you may be endangering your health without even realizing it. You'll learn not only which body parts need special attention, but also why proper hygiene in these areas is so important with age. A small change in your daily routine can become one of the easiest ways to protect your health for years to come. Human hands are the front line of defense against pathogens. These tireless workers, which most frequently contact the outside world, are often undeservedly neglected in matters of hygiene. Just consider the variety of surfaces that hands come into contact with throughout the day. Doorknobs, banknotes, supermarket trolleys, elevator buttons, mobile phones, and even one's own face. With each such contact, hands become carriers of bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms ready to enter the body through the mouth, nose, or eyes. That's why regular hand washing isn't just a hygienic procedure, but a reliable shield protecting against serious infections. Scientific studies convincingly prove that frequent and thorough hand washing can significantly reduce the risk of catching a cold, the flu, food poisoning, and even dangerous diseases like pneumonia. This simple and accessible method is one of the most effective ways to maintain a strong immune system and prevent unwanted health problems. Unfortunately, many people don't pay enough attention to hand washing, performing this procedure insufficiently often or carelessly. A quick rinse under the tap, a fleeting lather for a couple of seconds, and a hasty wipe. This superficial treatment is not enough to effectively remove pathogenic microorganisms. For optimal results, wash your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, thoroughly cleaning every area, including between your fingers, under your nails, and even your wrists. Consider the story of James, a 72-year-old retired teacher. He used to think rinsing his hands before meals was sufficient, but he was regularly plagued by colds and general weakness. Since he started paying more attention to hand hygiene, carefully washing them after handling food, touching objects in public places, and even after petting his four-legged friend, he has noticed significant improvements in his well-being. He gets sick less often, has more energy, and even his allergy symptoms have become less pronounced. The takeaway is clear. Hand washing is not just a mundane routine, but a reliable barrier against the spread of disease. If you find yourself prone to frequent colds or stomach upsets, it may be worth paying closer attention to the frequency and quality of your hand washing. This small act of care can have a huge impact on your health. The second important aspect is foot care, the foundation of our activity and health. Our feet carry us through life, yet they often don't receive the attention they deserve in terms of hygiene. You may wash your feet occasionally in the shower, but is that enough? In reality, feet are an ideal breeding ground for bacteria and fungi, and neglecting them daily can lead to serious health problems. Over the years, blood circulation naturally slows down, and the skin loses its elasticity and suppleness. These age-related changes make the lower extremities more susceptible to infections, ulcers, and even nerve damage. Itching, cracked heels, or a persistent unpleasant odor from the feet can indicate the proliferation of bacteria and fungi, a warning sign that foot hygiene needs improvement. Seemingly minor problems can quickly escalate into painful infections, limited mobility, and even long-term health complications. It is a common misconception that simply letting soapy water run down your legs in the shower is sufficient. However, maintaining healthy feet requires a more active approach. You need to wash your feet thoroughly, paying particular attention to the spaces between your toes, where bacteria and fungi find the perfect refuge. Using a soft bristled brush or washcloth with warm, soapy water will help remove dead skin cells, prevent fungal infections like athlete's foot, and reduce unpleasant odors. After washing, dry your feet thoroughly, especially between your toes, as a moist environment promotes bacterial growth. Consider the story of George, a 75-year-old handyman whose life has long been tied to working on his feet. Over time, he began to notice unpleasant changes: constant foot pain, thickened toenails, and slow healing of even minor cuts. Following his doctor's advice, he introduced thorough washing and inspection of his feet into his daily routine. This simple step led to remarkable results. The health of his feet improved markedly, and with it, his balance and mobility strengthened. Taking care of the foundation of your body is key to confident forward movement. The condition of your feet is an indicator of overall health. They can show the first signs of circulatory problems, skin infections, and even diabetes-related complications. Therefore, if your feet have been neglected, now is the time to start giving them the daily care they deserve. However, body care is not limited to just the feet. The face is not just an external shell, it is a person's calling card, constantly exposed to the environment. Airborne bacteria, dust, pollution, and even natural oils from the hands all settle on the skin. Few people realize that neglecting proper face washing can lead to more than just breakouts. It can increase the risk of eye infections, respiratory illnesses, and weaken the body's natural defenses. The human face, with its nose, mouth, and eyes, is an open gateway for pathogenic microorganisms. Throughout the day, invisible particles settle on the skin, and every touch to the face, often unconscious, becomes an act of transferring germs to vulnerable areas. Washing your face regularly is not just a cosmetic procedure, but a vital element of maintaining health. Special attention should be paid to the area around the eyes and nose, which are often neglected. Eyelids and eyelashes accumulate dirt and bacteria, which can lead to irritation, redness, and even infectious diseases such as conjunctivitis. The nostrils, in turn, trap dust, allergens, and microbes, increasing the risk of respiratory infections, sinus problems, and eye discomfort. However, balance is important when it comes to washing your face. Excessive diligence, using hot water and harsh detergents, can strip the skin of its natural protection, making it vulnerable to irritation and dryness. Insufficiently thorough washing, on the other hand, leaves bacteria on the skin, contributing to clogged pores, infections, and even skin diseases such as dermatitis. Take, for example, Susan, a 68-year-old woman who dedicated herself to librarianship and retired. For a long time, she believed that simply rinsing her face with water was enough to maintain hygiene. However, over time, she began to notice unpleasant changes. Her facial skin began to show signs of irritation, and she experienced frequent tearing and discomfort in the sinus area. After Susan revised her approach to facial skin care and switched to a gentler cleansing procedure, including the use of warm water, mild soap, and especially thorough rinsing of the areas around the eyes and nostrils, the results were not long in coming. She not only noted an improvement in the condition of her skin, which acquired a healthier appearance, but also noticed a significant reduction in allergy symptoms and a decrease in nasal congestion. Caring for your face is not just a matter of aesthetics and appearance. It is an important aspect of maintaining cleanliness and protecting the most vulnerable areas of the body from harmful bacteria. If you notice that you often rub your eyes, are prone to frequent colds, or notice increased skin irritation lately, it may be time to rethink your approach to washing your face. It would seem that such a simple habit as proper daily facial cleansing can have a significant impact on your well-being, facilitate breathing, and protect against unwanted infections. Now let's turn our attention to another area that plays a surprisingly important role in maintaining overall health, but often goes unnoticed until serious problems arise. The armpits are not just an area of the body responsible for thermoregulation, but also a strategically important area that requires special attention to prevent unpleasant odors and the development of infections. The armpits contain sweat glands which, with insufficient hygiene, can turn into a breeding ground for bacteria. Many people consider armpit hygiene only as a way to combat odor, but neglecting this area is fraught with skin infections, inflammation, and other health problems in the long term. Sweat itself has no odor, but when it interacts with bacteria on the skin, it becomes a source of unpleasant aroma. Over time, the accumulation of sweat and bacteria can cause skin irritation, clogged pores, and even painful infections such as abscesses. For older people, whose skin becomes more sensitive and heals more slowly, maintaining cleanliness in the armpits is of particular importance. Regular and proper care of this area is the key to health and comfort at any age. One of the unpleasant sides of insufficient armpit hygiene is the threat of clogged sweat glands. This, in turn, can lead to significant discomfort and even trigger the development of such a disease as hidradenitis suppurativa, a painful skin condition characterized by the formation of subcutaneous nodules. Regular and thorough cleansing of the armpits helps to remove dead skin cells, bacteria, and excess sweat, preventing the development of these problems. A common mistake is over-reliance on deodorants to the detriment of full washing. Deodorants and antiperspirants can mask unpleasant odors, but they do not eliminate bacteria. Moreover, applying these products to uncleansed skin can lead to the retention of bacteria, exacerbating irritation and increasing odor over time. That is why, before using any products, it is necessary to thoroughly wash your armpits with mild soap and warm water. Let us recall the story of David, a 74-year-old retired truck driver. For a long time, he believed that a morning dose of deodorant was enough. However, over time, he noticed that the skin under his armpits became irritated and even painful. Realizing the importance of proper cleansing, he began to thoroughly wash his armpits every day before applying deodorant. After just a few weeks, he noticed a significant reduction in irritation, odor, and rashes. Maintaining impeccable cleanliness in the underarm area is not just about freshness and feeling good. It's a crucial aspect of skin health. Neglecting this area can lead to unwanted infections and irritations that can disrupt daily life. If you've ever experienced itching, redness, or a persistent unpleasant odor, it might be time to reassess your approach to hygiene in this often overlooked area. The navel is a hidden haven for bacteria, requiring special attention. This small, often ignored part of the body is surprisingly one of the dirtiest areas. Despite its apparent simplicity, the navel is a secluded spot where sweat, dead skin cells, and bacteria accumulate in greater quantities than one might imagine. Scientific studies have revealed that, on average, hundreds of different species of bacteria reside in the navel, some of which can cause infections if proper hygiene is not maintained. The main problem is that most people simply forget about the existence of their navel. Many mistakenly believe that soapy water running over the body during a shower is sufficient to keep it clean. However, the truth is that this area needs targeted and thorough care. Without proper cleaning, bacteria and fungi find an ideal environment to thrive, leading to unpleasant odors, irritation, and in some cases, infections requiring qualified medical attention. People with deep-set navels or who are overweight face an increased risk of sweat and debris accumulation in this area. If proper hygiene is not observed, a favorable environment is created for the growth of yeast and bacteria. In some cases, this can lead to pain, redness, or foul-smelling discharge from the navel, indicating active bacterial growth and infection. For effective navel cleaning, it is recommended to use a soft washcloth or cotton swab moistened with warm, soapy water. After cleaning, the navel should be thoroughly dried. Harsh chemicals and vigorous scrubbing should be avoided, as they can cause irritation. If a persistent unpleasant odor or signs of infection appear, it is necessary to consult a doctor, as neglected navel infections can sometimes spread to other areas of the body. As an example, consider the story of Nancy, a 70-year-old woman who previously did not pay attention to navel hygiene, believing that a quick rinse in the shower was enough. However, over time she noticed a strange odor and occasional redness in the area. After learning about proper navel hygiene, she began gently washing it daily, and within a few weeks the unpleasant odor disappeared, and her overall feeling of cleanliness significantly improved. While the navel may not be an object of daily reflection, keeping it clean is essential for preventing discomfort, infections, and other unwanted health problems. If this area has not received sufficient attention in the past, now is the time to make its care an integral part of your regular hygiene routine. In conclusion, we have discussed 5 key areas of the body that require daily cleaning: hands, feet, face, underarms, and navel. Each of these areas plays a vital role in maintaining overall health, yet they are often not given enough attention in daily hygiene rituals. By ensuring their cleanliness, one not only improves personal hygiene, but also actively protects themselves from infections, discomfort, and even long-term health issues. Over time, maintaining proper hygiene can present new challenges. The skin becomes more sensitive, the immune system reacts differently, and the body requires a little more care than before. However, fortunately, simple, consistent habits, such as daily washing, can significantly impact one's well-being and functioning each day. Today's discussion offers a valuable lesson. Even minor adjustments to daily habits can dramatically improve our well-being. Whether you pay a little more attention to hygiene procedures, thoroughly washing every corner of the body, or ensure impeccable cleanliness in those often forgotten areas, all these seemingly small things collectively form the foundation for a healthier and, importantly, more comfortable life. Taking care of yourself through such simple actions is an investment in your own well-being and allows us to feel more confident and energetic every day.